Welcome to the Jig Life. We're so excited to have you with us here to come along on our ride. This is a journey, a quest to travel across Alaska and catch every game fish on a jig. We're here in Yakutat today, and our goal is to catch halibut, lingcod, and rockfish all in the jig. If we're lucky, maybe a king salmon will be prowling around. Our first stop here, look at the epic mountain range behind us. This is the beautiful seascape that we get to exist in here for today's episode of the Jig Life. We're going to start with halibut. These are the biggest flatfish in the world. Pacific halibut can reach epic sizes. We're going to start with my Daiwa Saltiga travel rod. This is a 5'9" rod. It's rated for 30 to 65 pound test. We're using a Daiwa Lexa 300. We've got 50-pound J-braid on here. So if we hook a monster, we need to take our time, play it slowly. On here we have a scent striker. This is going to allow me to put some extra scent on. So I'm going to use some Procure butt juice and bait oil. I'm going to put the bait oil in the scent striker. I'm going to put the butt juice super gel onto my Kodiak custom bottom fish jig. We're going to bounce it around the bottom and entice some of these big flatfish to come eat. This is the Jig Life. Stay tuned. All right, we wanted to give you an inside look at some of the gear that we bring out on Jig Life episodes. Here in Yakutat, on this particular journey, we're going to be targeting halibut and lingcod and rockfish. So I wanted to show you guys some of the gear that I brought with me to do such. So we'll start rods and reels. This is my halibut rod. You can see it's light. You can balance it on 2 fingers. Daiwa is making strong, light equipment that balances well together. So this is a 5'9" Saltiga. The theme on this trip for me was travel rods. I wanted everything that would fit down into a rod case that I could bring right on the airplane and not have to check an extra bag. So I went up in the overhead compartment. I was able to get 5 rods in 2 rod tubes that are barely 3 feet long. So that was the theme. On it I've got a Lexa 300 and 50-pound J-braid is how I've spooled it up. Plenty of capacity in the shallow water. We're fishing in about 120 feet of water. Okay, so you'll notice up here, this red puffy thing, this is a scent striker. This is something I've been using recently. What we're gonna do on both the puff and on our Kodiak custom bottom fish jig is to add Procure. For all of these fish, adding some scent is gonna increase the number of bites that you get and increase the effectiveness. What I brought on me on this trip is my favorite, tried and true butt juice. Butt juice super gel. This is what I'll apply to the body, to the lead, and the skirt on this Kodiak custom bottom fish jig. I brought along a new scent that they've made, garlic butt juice. And this is an oil, and so that's why I've got the scent striker here. I will saturate that in this oil, and that'll also leach out scent. I brought Salmon Slammer in the event that we're able to get out and do some jigging for kings, but the kings aren't congregated well enough. So this is going to stay with me until we go to Kodiak next month. Procure, I've been using their products for at least 20 years. They really help me catch fish. It doesn't matter what fishery I'm in. Totally important. Okay. When we move over to lingcod and rockfish, work my way through this. This is the setup I'm using here. Lexa 400. It's got a bigger capacity, so I could easily use this for halibut. But I put J-braid, 8-strand metered braid, pardon me, this one. The metered braid on this. So when you're targeting rockfish, they'll be spread out throughout the water column. The captain might say, we're in 80 feet of water and the rockfish are 20 to 50 feet down. The metered braid is a different color every 10 meters. Every meter there's a single marking on it, so you know where you are in between, and then at the 5-meter mark there's a mark. So it quickly tells you, okay, I'm 40 feet down. You've got to learn the basic meter to yard conversion. They're basically the same thing. So a meter's about 3 feet. So on this one, I've got a 4-ounce flash jig from Mahi USA. Mahi makes both the live deception and the assault jig, which are among my favorites. This one is the Live Deception Flash. They have a couple of varieties of Live Deception. They make it in a range of different patterns. This one I believe is the blue mackerel. It comes in a sardine and an anchovy. They all work. This is a new pattern that they've made, the Bonita pattern. And on this one, I replaced the factory treble with a single. You'll see that's in the mix here. Excuse me. VMC Tech Set Siwash. I bought a range of different sizes. When it comes to the rockfish that we're doing, I'm leaving the factory treble on here because I'm trying to catch and harvest. Black rockfish are a delicious. People make fish chips with them. I like to bake them. I make fish tacos with them. And it's a very sustainable rockfish species. It's a pelagic species that should be the one that we all target if we want to catch rockfish. Non-pelagics are closed, and in my opinion, we should probably just let those go and focus on the pelagic species. So I stick with a treble on those, and sometimes I say I'll switch out to a single. I've got a range of other jigs here to talk about. Mustad makes a range of different sizes that have different actions, and we haven't yet put those into play, but we're going to do some of that today when we halibut fish. The Kodiak custom bottom fish jig that I mentioned, I've been using this for at least 15 years and have caught hundreds and hundreds of bottom fish on it. On a recent trip to Kodiak, we caught 10 species. I'll regularly catch triple-digit halibut here in Yakutat using the Kodiak custom bottom fish jig. The two hook rigging, and on some of the versions, like the white one that I've got on here, there's a light in there that's water activated. A little pulsing light in there helps bring fish in. Fish, feed based on sight, sound, and smell, so we want to hit all of those factors. And that's really, in a nutshell, the reason why I love the jig so much. It's an active process. That's why the Jig Life is going to be such a great adventure as we travel across Alaska, trying to catch every species on a jig. But the jig provides sight, it provides sound. When we add scent to it, it provides smell, and it's just a great way to fish. So let's see, what else? Tools. Good to have a set of pliers, Spyderco knives. They make lots of different great knives, everyday carries. I bring this to do lots of different things with it, from bleeding fish to cutting off tag lines. Important. I've got a set of braid scissors, critical when we're fishing braid. This is split ring pliers, again, for swapping out different hooks, opening up split rings. That's the basic concept there. We'll go over line again. I've got 50-pound J braid on both of these. This one is the 8-strand green. This one's the 4-strand metered. On my spinning reel, brought this along for have a little bit of fun, and have caught a bunch of rockfish and lingcod on already. But I put Suffix 30-pound J braid onto this Penn spinning reel. And we'll talk just briefly about these other two rods. This is Temple Fork Outfitter, another good company that makes really solid rods of all kinds, saltwater and freshwater, and travel rods are one of their specialties. So I have a TFO rod there. That one's light. That one's a 7-foot 4-10 weight line. That's the rating on it. This one is a 10 to 25, 7-foot. I like rods that are about 5.5 to maybe 7 to 7.5 feet at the most, and all of these fit within that category. This is a rod you've seen me fish with before. This one's made by Santiam, a company down in Oregon that has specialized in travel rods. This is a 2-piece halibut rod. I have this rigged up for something different. We found that the biggest lingcod around here love to eat live greenling. We'll catch greenling, and then this is a rigging that I made up to be able to target those lingcod using the live greenling. As an addition here, when we're talking about the top shots, so 50-pound braid tied into a 25-pound P-line SS fluorocarbon top shot. Use a double uni knot to connect those two. You saw on my halibut rigging, it's got a heavier leader on there. This is 150-pound Andy monofilament, which we've crimped on here to a couple of 4-aught Sampo corkscrew swivels. It's really important to have good swivels. Sampo makes some of the best ones out there. So that's a basic wrap-up of the different things that we're going to be using out here. Jigging is really just a great interactive way to fish. You can bring just a variety of different jigs that provide different actions. If one isn't working, we'll switch over to another one. You change the different size of it based on the species, and you never know what you're going to catch when you drop down here. A jig like this will catch a lingcod, it'll catch a rockfish, it'll catch a halibut, and it'll definitely catch a king salmon. So Stay tuned, we'll bring you some action here. Can you believe the scenery? I mean, this is epic. This is Alaska at its finest. You know, we're here in Yakutat, one of our favorite spots to come catch fish. And now that we're doing a little bit of trolling as we come up to our destination, soon we're going to set the pick and we'll start jigging for halibut, and we'll come back with some bent rods. Yeehaws. Butt juice in the morning. Put the bait oil, we'll saturate our sense right. That'll be the first thing that they smell. That'll draw them in. Butt juice, super gel. Right onto that. Lead, this is a 14 ounce white on white, and a new color combination that we've been using on this trip. Tony gave us. Tony makes some badass jigs. Here we have custom tackle. Let's see, we're fishing in 80 feet of water. 80 feet, super shallow. I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom. And we're just drifting. You can jig from two ways. We can either jig when we're on anchor, or we can drift along off anchor. When we drift, we get to cover more water. Okay, so I like to jig from about 8 o'clock to about 10 o'clock. Jig's hitting the bottom. This is not a snaggy bottom that we're in right here, so I can afford to let it bounce on the bottom. If it was rocky and snaggy, then I'm going to want to get close to the bottom, but not spend a lot of time on it. I do like hitting the bottom because it feels like it puts out a little bit of extra sound. So I like to stay close to the bottom. And then, as I've said before, I change the cadence. But the basic concept is to jig up and get tension off the jig. Let's turn around and it'll swim back down, and it really looks alive. We filmed it underwater. See why I caught the fish bite. Up and down. Just be ready, because the fish will hit either on the uptake or on the drop, either way. And you gotta be ready to set the hook. We've had a good morning so far. We were trolling for kings, and a couple of nice halibut jumped on board. You never know out here what's going to happen. But so far, we've already trolled up one king, multiple halibut, a rockfish, and multiple lingcod. And now we're just getting to the point where we can do a little bit of jigging. That was a little nibble on something. Part of the reason why I like this so much is it's so interactive. And for me, the best part of fishing is bite, the grab. Oh, it's so nice and beautiful and peaceful out here. You really don't get days like this that often out here in Yakutat. You got to really appreciate it when it happens. Follow the jig down with your rod tip, get the tension off it, let it flutter. This Kodiak custom jig, it really looks like it could be a squid, it could just be a wounded bait fish, and then it's got the flashing light down in the skirt, and the strobing light no doubt brings fish too. Sometimes I'll just make little lifts at the bottom. Gotta think like a fish. I'm really impressed with the Daiwa gear. A super light rod and reel that are well balanced for each other. It's not the days of old where you got a broomstick for a halibut rod. You're not comfortable with fish, it'll wear you out pretty soon. Most people, that's what happens to them. They get tired while they're jigging, and that's they stop doing it. So if you've got a light gear, it's easy to handle. It'll keep you out here jigging longer. Daiwa not only makes rods and reels, they make line, they make their own jigs, pretty much anything you need for the jig life. Pretty exciting out here yesterday. We got into a hot Lingcod bite. The most epic moment happened at the end of the day where I hooked about a 10-pound Lingcod. We were looking for halibut, and I hooked a 10-pound Lingcod and started bringing it in, and all of a sudden the rod just buckled over, and it became a lot heavier. So we're thinking, oh, this could be a big halibut. And as we brought that Lingcod up out of the depths, it was a huge 4.5 footer, at least a 50-pounder that was clamped down on that 10-pound rockfish or Lingcod. And it's just a dragon dinosaur, garbage pan mouth, all teeth and fins, and it's a bad day for that 10-pound Lingcod. Catfish down here that won't cooperate. When we're drifting like this, the advantages are that we get to cover a lot of water. And that's good when the fish are spread out, and especially when there's not a lot of current down there. You get some small tide days where there's not a lot of water exchange, and the scent doesn't get dispersed very far. So those are good days to drift. When we work in bigger tide days where there's a flood of water coming in and out, halibut have some of the best noses in the ocean. Some scientists have even said 1 part per billion. That's a good sniffer. And so, common theory on halibut is to get on the hook, set up anchor, start putting out a scent trail, and ring the dinner bell, bring the halibut to you. Either way works, and either way works for the jiggers. I like it when I have halibut fishermen aboard that like to fish bait because the scent brings the fish, and a lot of times the jig will close the deal. We'll fish this one for a while, and if it doesn't produce a strike, then we'll change up actions. So yeah, custom looks one way in the water. We have a variety of different jigs from both IUSA and Mustad with us today, and they have different actions, different shapes of the metal, different sizes and lengths, and they flutter differently in the water. You don't really know which one's going to turn a fish on, so it pays to have more than one type with you. We've also brought some grub tails with us. Fishfield makes a good grub tail. These are tough. Now the key with these grub tails, they go on a lead head, 16 ounces a standard one. Let's see if we can pull one out here for you to show you. Here's the lead head. So this is a very common and effective jig. I like these Fishfield grubs because the tails are tough. See, what happens is a Lingcod or halibut will chew these tails off, and as soon as that tail is gone and the fluttering action is gone in the water, it no longer works. So I found these Fishfield ones. I've fished for a whole day before and not had a tail be ripped off. So, all the while, we're still bouncing bottom here. Got a nice little drift portion here. Smooth, even bottom, not worried about snagging. I might just sit down there for half a second before I pop it back up. Fortunate time to look at it. These halibut are apex predators. They're just sitting around there waiting for a free meal. They chase down food for a living. halibut aboard. We're gonna do a little more trolling, see if we can't find some kings. And we're gonna show you what lingcod and black rockfish are like on the jig. Yesterday, the first spot that we stopped at, we were able to catch both our lingcod and all our black rockfish while we were fishing the halibut. It's part of what makes this destination so epic. A little snap up with the rod tip takes the tension off the jig, allows it to turn around. First, it looks like a hanging bait fish. Get the halibut off the bottom and chase it, and while it's dropping, they eat it. And when you swing up again, you feel it. So before feeling that grab is the sweetest thing about bait fishing. World record rod and reel caught halibut's over 400 pounds. These are giant fish. We like catching them, 50 pounders are what we target. Once you get anything about over 100 pounds, we like letting them go. The big females, send them back to make more halibut. Plus the big old tough fishes, we just good to eat it. Younger, smaller, more tender ones. We've never had halibut, oh boy. But all three of these species that we're targeting, collectively called bottom fish, they're white meat, they're all equally delicious. Each one's different. Rockfish tend to have a little firmer muscle texture. The grain is a little tighter. Lingcod's a little bit softer. Rockfish somewhere in between. Out here in Yakutat, you're allowed one halibut of any size and then one halibut under 28 inches. So if we catch a small one, a 28 incher, we're going to get him tonight for dinner. Tell you what, nothing better than fresh fish out of the ocean. Nothing better. See there when you get a bite, my other hand goes to the reel and starts cranking to help pull in slack while I'm trying to set with the other arm. You just set when you've got a bunch of slack in the line. You won't get a clean set, you won't set the hook. You've got to set the hook in jig fishing and you've got to keep tension. But generally prefer like a soft, muddy bottom. You can blend it. That's the bottom. Now, if I just take tension off this jig, pop it that way. See how that came off? Don't pull real hard. Just put a bunch of slack in the line, stand your rod up, pitch it forward, the jig will roll over and you pop it right out. As I was saying, halibut like a soft, muddy bottom that can blend in. That's the brown sides camouflaged. If this was, they'll also come up on the rocky pinnacles, and if this was a rocky bottom, I would probably go with an assist style jig where the hook comes attached to the top of the jig rather than the bottom. Those tend to snag a lot less on rocky bottom. Since this is nice and smooth, I got my Kodiak Custom. On the bottom. I'm finishing my stroke with the rod tip is literally down in the water. So if a fish bites while it's dropping, I'm in a good position to strike. If I would set it up where I would drop my rod tip and it's up here, if the fish strikes, I don't have as much room. Down here I can make a nice clean strike. I've been coming to Yakutat Lodge for about 25 years. It's just a really great all-around saltwater and freshwater destination. In the salt, you can catch king salmon, lingcod, halibut, rockfish, and silver salmon. It's got the state's very best steelhead return on the sea cut. You get in the river, you've got opportunities at kings and toho and sockeye. Catch as many pinks as you want. We got here a few days ago on the morning jet. We were able to be out here fishing in the saltwater by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The runs are no more than 10 miles from the dock. Water's shallow. Tides are generally pretty mellow. The scenery is just epic. Our buddies at Yakutat Lodge know what they're doing. They'll show you a good time. Season starts in April, rolls all the way through September. We're digging away here for a few minutes. Just wondering where the halibut were. We just turned the camera off for a split second. And this is what happened. Was this halibut camera shy? Kind of pulling his head like he might have been a halibut, but now I'm feeling maybe a lingcod. You can't see it yet. Water. One thing I like about having the scent striker here is it gives me an indicator that I'm getting close. Yeah, there it is. And there's the halibut. Oh yeah. Here with me. Yeah, let's kill this. I would say that's probably that's probably a 60-pounder that we got there. See how I brought them up nice and gentle and easy? The harder you pull, the harder they pull back. So nice and smooth. We're done. Yeah, fish off.
Oh no!
So that's what a big rockfish looks like. That was on one of the upswings. Terribly big. Halibut. I don't think it's going to make the, it might make the under. We're going to measure this one and see if it's under. What do you think, Skip?
If he's under 28, you get 8%.
Correct.
Same time, Marcus.
Yeah. He's small, but overkick him. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, what do you think? Is that one?
Yeah, he might be. Can I lift him in the boat?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's just barely there. Okay. Let's try it.
Yeah, if he comes off, he comes off. That one might just be a breakfast.
Yeah.
Dinner, lunch, food. Please.
So, I seen that fish, and I got on Zoom, but I was afraid on video Zoom.
So if this is under 28, we get to keep this one, and we're kind of thinking it might be. Captain Larry's getting the tape.
Center of the tail to the tip of the nose.
Oh, is that money or what?
Yep.
Oh, yes, that's tonight's dinner. Oh, nice catch.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Nice catch. Captain Larry's been doing this a long time. Not too many people know the waters are on Yakutat better than Larry. Okay, we're done with our halibut. Now we're after Lingcod and black rockfish. I'm going to use the same setup for both. So I showed you earlier, this is the TFO 10 to 25. I got a Daiwa Lexa 800 on here, 400. It's an 8-to-1 ratio. We've got the 50-pound jade braid. This is the metered braid, so I'll be able to know how deep I go. 4-ounce ahi. And it's about the particulars. I'm going to run with their standard treble because I'm looking to catch and eat on these drops. We'll just work it down through the water column. Basically, with each jigging stroke, I like to let out a few more feet. I'm just fishing blind right now. I don't have any word from the captain where the fish are, so I'm going to cover it from the top to the bottom. And somewhere along the way here, if there's a rockfish school, they're going to eat this thing on the drop. Once I figure out where that depth is, I'll be able to replicate it easy enough. But most of the time, I just fish these blind and just start working them down. When I get to the bottom, I come back up. If we get hooked up here, rockfish will be a pretty good pull, but a lingcod will be a much better pull. Lingcod are the biggest member of the greenlings family. We caught one yesterday that was a legitimate 50 pounds. Average fish around here is maybe 15. There's a fish. That's how we do it, yo. A 4-ounce ahi will catch anything swimming. Good job, Cap. I'm going to guesstimate it as a lingcod, and we're going to, if we like it, we'll throw it in the box, but we don't have it up yet. Hey Skipper, will you whack this for me? Look at this lingcod. He's barely hooked in the lip. Get on my fish, please. Oh, it's a nice one, but he's barely hooked.
I got it, actually.
And now he's in the boat. Now he's in the boat.
Got it.
That's how you do it.
Yes, sir.
That's how you do it. Okay, that's a beautiful lingcod.
Yep.
Just ate the 4-ounce ahi live deception. I'm rolling. All right, I got to retie here for a minute because we just had a hand-to-hand Mortal Kombat with Lingcod. He's now in the fish box. He's going to taste real good this winter. I like to bake Lingcod. Just use like a citrus, lemon pepper, maybe some spice. Cameraman likes fish and chips. You know, lingcod's pretty damn delicious. You won't overcook it. Halibut you can overcook. The lingcod you won't. Stay tuned for some lingcod recipes from me in the future. Now we're looking for black rockfish because I'm limited out on lingcods, 2 a year down here. Same lure. See if I can get it back in the water. Okay, same concept. Just sort of work it down through there. Now the rockfish will be higher than the lingcod. Lingcod live down in the rocks. You know, they're kind of territorial. They can stay within a couple of miles of where they're living, and you know, big ones, you got to yank them out of the rocks. Got to see the footage on that giant lingcod we caught yesterday. It's sick. rockfish. I'm hoping that a big old lingcod doesn't latch on, but if it does, we'll let it go. I'm going to work a little higher in the column and ease it out a foot or two at a time. Hopefully the captain will tell us these Marcus is fish. The blacks run, I don't know, 2 to 7 pounds. You know, you start catching 4 or 5 pounders, it's a nice slab. You get a couple of pounds of meat, it's worth a few meals, and they're really good. Fish tacos, fish chips. I think I'm going to put together a Lingcod enchilada recipe for y'all. Rockfish. Now, usually when we find them, we actually fast and furious for these rockfish. So if we're not hooking up, then they're not down there. They'll bite most of the time. And there's 2 of us fishing and we haven't hooked anything. These are no depth, up to about 90 feet. We've got 60 feet. 60 feet. Okay. I'm gonna pull up and reset. It gets tightened out there too far. Reel in, reset. Nothing yet. Yeah, skipper can see fish on the depth finder when it's going down. I'm not seeing anything. Rockfish now.
$40, $50 feet, he's saying.
Let's get it down towards the bottom.
It's 50 or 60. I caught my biggest rockfish right up the bottom yesterday. Yeah, and then the big ones want to use the bigger bait. And we didn't catch them at 7, so we probably got it 2.5.
Oh, that rocks. Okay.
We're at 60, so we're up a bit.
He said 40.
Oh, I got a take.
I just missed one. Okay. I think if I'm lucky, I'm hooked up to a rockfish now. I had a couple of takes. Oh, but he's pulling. Yeah, I think it could be a rockfish. I was on top of the school and had a couple of fish takes. And now, oh, look at this, folks. Oh, hey, Cap, help me out. Put a gap in this one for me, will you? Oh, beautiful specimen. Okay, this is a black rockfish. Pelagic rockfish in nice schools. Look, that's a 4-pounder. That'll make for some good eats. And 5 a man a day right here. So we're over the top of them now. I'm gonna put this one down and get it going on. When there's one, there's more than one. You could have given me another rod and I could have handed that one off. We could have had more. When you get to the top of the school, if you feel anything stop the lure, it starts. Oh, there's another fish. Set the hook. Yeah. Yeah. Got the Ahi USA's Bonito pattern on this guy. It's a new pattern that we came out with recently. All their patterns work down here. Green mackerel, blue mackerel, sardine, anchovy. It's more the shape. Oh, there's a fish. That one could be a Lingcod. Oh, lost him. I think that was a Lingcod. That was a good bite. Get on top of him again. When the action is fast and furious, the jig literally gets eaten on the drop. People will say, "What? I can't feel anything." Like right there, fish. And then I pull back, and then I pull the jig out of its mouth at that time. But a lot of times, it's in its mouth. These got a little rougher, so we're not in our perfect rockfish spot where it'd be easy to show you this. Oh, that was on and off. Sea started kicking up here in the afternoon. We've been looking around for kinks for a while. It's a little later than we normally would, but it's super fun. This is jigging personified in the Jig Life right here. Hook us. One of these black rockfish. Okay, back in. Captain says we're back in them. Red alert, red alert. Time to get hooked up. Had him on. That was the rockfish that was on there for a second. Came off again. Safety's not on. Just, seas are pitching. Got just bending the rod and feeling the fish. That's what it's most of the rockfish are pretty plentiful. And looking at our fish box already, it's full of halibut, so it's not that big a deal for anybody. I'm going to show you a few more. USA jigs for a long time down here. They really work. They're realistic looking. This is a 4 ounce. This one's an anchovy pattern. I called it the Bonita pattern before, but I wanted to correctly show you what Bonita pattern looked like. That's a new pattern. I caught a bunch of fish on the Bonita pattern, 4 ounce size, earlier this trip until I snagged it on the bottom and eventually broke it off on my 25-pound fluorocarbon. Good there. So, come in a bunch of different colors. That one's, I think, green mackerel. Oh, sorry, that one's sardine. Okay. A bunch of different sizes, even a small one. Look at this. This is a salt diamond, and this one is assist rig. So look at the top. So I'm using this in really rotten stuff. Captain says they're down there, so I'm going to go down. How far? They're 55. In 62 feet of water, they're 55. So they're hovering close to the bottom. I'm going to find bottom and come up a little bit. Hopefully somebody will eat it shortly thereafter. Looking good, he says. Skipper likes it. He likes it. We'll find a fish or two. Down at the bottom here. Bite. Yeah, I got a bite. I'm surprised I didn't get bit. Had a bite in there. I'm jigging this near the bottom. Put in that bottom 10 feet of water. Occasionally I'll give it a big snap and let it flutter through them. I've had a few bites that slid off the jig that didn't get stuck. That might have been bottom. It's a little strong for a rockfish. There's some sticky stuff down there. Just got hung up a few seconds ago and I have to turn the boat down and pop it loose. So make a really home for the rockfish. It's like rockfish for 100, Alex. Go to the bottom, and I'm going to bring the rockfish in. You can keep on fishing, Skip. We're going to keep we're in them thick. Skipper says we're in them thick. Hurry, dip your back in the game. Oh, that was a fish. Missed that one. Missed that one. Got hooked up on that one though. Oh, he's off again. Oh, we had 2 in 10 seconds. 0 for 2, but you know they're down there. Oh, how did you come? Oh, we're live. Oh, he's off. Long lining. Oh, on and off again. Oh my God, they're biting, but we're having a hard time sticking them, Skipper. They're biting. We're gonna get them.
There it is.
Yes,
Look at that.
That one might be stuck. That one might be stuck. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a rockfish. We got what we were looking for. Oh, it's running. Oh man. Oh, that's what I thought. It's a Lingcod. Oh, see that? That's the difference between a rockfish and a Lingcod. See that? Oh yeah. And that's how we let it go. Just like that. There's rockfish between the top and the Lingcod or the rockfish. That's what we're after. I was thinking if that's a rockfish, oh baby, it's getting an 8-pounder, but fighting too hard. I'm surprised I haven't gotten a bite. So we drift in and out of the school. Getting in the school, the bite is pretty regular. I missed a bunch today. Should have had my 5 by now already. I stuck them all. But prepared for having a great time. Nice little fine rockfish and Lingcod out here. Like I was saying earlier, it's starting to pick up. We'll be getting bigger. And we weren't going to be able to get to all the live spots without taking a feed. Now we can set forward back away home. One more bite. That was a bite. Just missed a bite. That was a bite. Come on, baby. Line up for us. Line up. You like the jig. Be a star in Jig Life. All right, resetting. Okay, one more bounce. Jig Life, one more bounce. All right. You gotta get the most out of everything. They're down there. That's the green light.
Your bottom?
That's the green light. Actually, fishing deep at this color line where it comes again. You can tell 10 meters, 5 feet or how far down you are. Especially if you don't have electronics. It's a great way to know how far you go out or down there without having to have a line count, right? Just gotta hit. And you can miss the fish. Yeah. Relax it on a little bit. Working at 4 or 5 feet. That's rockfish. It's a good average specimen. Very spiny. Lingcod don't like to eat them as much because they're so spiny. They do look like bass. This is, you know, in a normal day I would probably toss this one back, but it's still big enough to get some fillets out of it. We need to get out of this weather. It's coming, so we'll keep it. Okay, back in the game. Two Lingcod, 3 rockfish on the side. In the last 11 minutes, 15 minutes, or whatever. So same lure, same rod. Now, if I catch a monster Lingcod, we're gonna have a fight. But I just, you know, I got 50-pound main, so that's pretty sweet. The 25-pound fluoro at the end is strong too. So I think I can handle it. Just take it easy. It's got enough, certainly got enough backbone that I can handle Lingcod. 10 to 25. It's a travel rod, so it's a three-piecer. I told you earlier, I got 5 rods and 2 rod tubes. The rod tubes are barely 3 feet long each, so they came on the plane with me. 5 rods. I had 5 reels in my backpack. It doesn't take a lots of jigs. Into the extra leader material, you're pretty much in the game. You know, you can take the jig ship from, you know, life on the road. You know. I'd say it's on a rockfish. But it's got some pull to it, so it could be a baby Lingcod. Oh, it's a good sized Rocky. Rocky Balboa. Say hello. Gaff me. Yep. Almost. Back we go. A little chewed on. Pretty good spot. We trolled the kings here. We trolled up a big halibut. Caught Lingcod and rockfish in the same spot. And we're nailing it right here. And look, can you imagine? Look at that. Oh. We good, Cap? Okay. When we get out of the fish, it makes more sense to skipper to put the boat back on top of them again. Larry's good at it. You know, you come to Yakutat when the black rockfish are in, you'll be able to catch some. Come here to Yakutat Lodge. It's nice with a lighter rod like this. You know, I've got an arm for it. I can handle it easily. This one's a 7-footer. I think it's pretty good length for what we're doing here. I've got enough leverage. You know, you could experiment 6 inches in either direction, see how you like it. I just tied a double uni knot to attach my fluorocarbon leader, the 25-pound P-line SS leader material. Salmon steelhead. I love P-Line, all their products. I use P-Line jigs as well. You'll see P-Line jigs in a future episode. Anyway, just I like fluorocarbon, like fish can't see it. Give yourself a little bit of stealth. These ahi jigs are realistic. I got no bait, I have no scent on this. You've seen me now catch 6 fish. Missed a bunch of others. Need one more rockfish and my limit's done. Yeah. This might be a Lingcod. Yeah, this is a Lingcod. Oh no, it's a big rockfish.
The gas right behind you if you want the gas.
Okay. I just dropped back down and first drop made a few jigs and I just got hooked into this thing. Brought him into play. This is nice, you know. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? 16, 17 inch bass. This is probably about 3 pounds. Not a jumbo by any stretch, but a very healthy specimen. And because there's so many of these, that's why the limit is 5 per day, and we encourage you to harvest black rockfish if you're going to take any rockfish at all. This is my 5th one, so that makes my limit. So, all right, you got to see some lingcod, halibut, rockfish, literally all within the same small area. The scenic backdrop here, the Rango St. Elias Range, some of the biggest mountains in North America behind me. It is just a stunning place to catch a multitude of species in shallow water. Yakutat Lodge does a great job of everything. You know, you stay there, they'll feed you, they give you a car, and they'll put you into great fish both in the river, out here in the ocean. I mean, I've been coming here 3 times a year for 10 years running, and it's been 25 years since I started coming here.